When people talk about war, they think about oil, supply disruption, prices rising. But what if oil isn't the real problem? Because right now something else is being disrupted. And that's the thing that feeds the world. And if that supply breaks, the next inflation wave won't be fuel, it will be food. Right now, all the headlines are focused on one thing, and that's oil. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important energy routes in the world. Roughly 20% of global oil supply passes through it. So when it's disrupted, markets panic, prices spike, and governments react. That all makes sense, because oil powers transport, industry, and energy. But there's a second layer to this story that isn't getting anywhere near enough attention. Modern agriculture doesn't run on sunlight alone, it runs on fertilizer. Without fertilizer, crop yields drop, production falls, and supply shrinks. And here's the key point. Fertilizer production is heavily tied to global trade, and a significant portion of key inputs and shipments move through major trade routes, including areas affected by Middle Eastern tensions. Some of the world's largest fertilizer exporters include countries in the Middle East, Russia, and North Africa. Many of these supply chains rely on stable global shipping routes. So when a choke point like Hormuz is disrupted, it doesn't just affect oil, it affects everything that moves through that system, including the inputs that grow our food. Food supply is not flexible in the short term. You can't just produce more instantly. Farming works in cycles: planting, growing, and harvesting. If fertilizer is disrupted at the wrong time, the entire cycle is affected. And when supply drops, prices don't gently rise, they spike. We've seen this before. During global previous disruptions, fertilizer prices surged, crop yields fell, and food inflation followed. Food inflation doesn't happen slowly, it happens suddenly. And this is where it all connects. Disrupt fertilizer supply, lower crop yields, reduce global food supply, and prices increase. And because food is a necessity, people can't just stop buying it, which makes it one of the most sensitive areas of inflation. Unlike luxury goods, food demand is constant. You can delay buying a new phone, but you can't delay eating. That's what makes food inflation so powerful. And right now, markets are reacting primarily to oil. And that's where the attention is, and that's where the headlines are. But markets often focus on what is obvious now, not what unfolds next. Fertilizer disruptions don't show up immediately, they show up months later, when harvests come in lower than expected, which means the real impact may not be priced in yet. Now let's be clear. This is not just a theory I'm observing from the outside. I have positions that reflect this view. I've taken exposure to agricultural commodities, including corn futures. Some of these positions have already been closed at around 20% returns on margin trades. But that doesn't make this guaranteed. It's still just a thesis and it's not certainty. Markets can stay irrational and outcomes can certainly change. If this thesis plays out, we could see rising fertilizer costs, reduced agricultural output, tightening food supply, and increasing food prices. Not immediately, but over the medium term. And because food is such a core part of everyday life, even small disruptions can have large impacts. Everyone is watching oil, but sometimes the biggest shift happens when nobody is looking. Because if fertilizer supply is disrupted, the real crisis won't be at the petrol station, the real crisis will be at the supermarket.